First, I'd like to take a moment just to thank Jim and Janet, of course, for the opportunity to present today. Aaron Fergus is actually the editor of the Journal of Employment Counseling, and we co-authored this chapter together. Obviously, he's not here with me today, so he's in New Zealand, but I'm going to act as his sidekick today and provide some additional content for you so you'll be able to hear a little bit more about the journal, to give you an overview of that. Additionally, to provide you with some information about just some ways of integrating theory, research, and practice, and then also some recommendations. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so I will talk really fast to try, and louder. I'll try to talk louder as well, but I'll try to get this in so we can get to Donna very quickly, so I apologize if I talk too fast. But I wanted to go ahead and start with just a general overview for you, just to give you a little bit of context behind the journal. So the chapter that we have created is a chapter that is really going to discuss the thinking of vocational psychology and theory, research and practice from the perspective of the Journal of Employment Counseling. So those of you as familiar with this journal, the JEC is the official journal of the National Employment Counseling Association. It's a division of the ACA, so it does have, unlike kind of Lisa was sharing about the journal that she was mentioning, this does have kind of that affiliation factor. The JEC is a relatively small academic journal, averaging about 4 articles per 446-page issues. The aim and scope of the JEC are to illuminate the theory and practice in employment counseling, to report professional experimentation and research, and to examine the current client vocational problems as well as professional concerns of counselors. So in 2015, the JEC published its 52nd volume, so just to give you a context there. And the journal is a quarterly journal with issues published in March, June, September, and December. So just to give you a reference there. So some of the recent submissions that we've had, at least from 2012 to 2015, have come from a variety of areas. So just to give you a smattering of some of the submissions from the various locations. I won't read it all to you, but you can see it's a wide scope, and many are from international submissions as well. So as far as the theory, research, and practice, some of the conceptual framework mentioned by Samson is one of the things that we kind of wanted to frame this chapter around. And so some of the theories are presented that we've noticed over the last at least 5 years that are coming out and from those authors that are submitting those publications really are from the following theoretical foundations. So just to give you an idea, I don't have the exact numbers of each of the submissions, but just to give you a rough general estimate of the types of theories that we're seeing within the submission of the publication. So those are some of the ones. Trait and factor. We don't see as much Holland to kind of tie in from yesterday, but that's to kind of give you an idea. So some general observations with regard to the submissions. Many really employ the positivist approach in career development theory, research, and practice. We see an increase or more quantitative versus qualitative research submissions. So when you look at just the types of submissions that we're seeing, there are, again, a variety of theoretical frameworks. Not one kind of outshines the others, but there are a variety within the submissions. A variety of research designs are also used, and so you can see there with a variety of different statistical analysis, both experimental and quasi-experimental are also submitted. However, there's very few conceptual and narrative articles that we are seeing in our submissions. So that is something to take note of, and something that we hope to increase as far as the publication in general. There has been a disconnect between contemporary constructivist career theories and the preferred research designs and research questions. So that is something that Dale and I have been talking about, and we wanted to make sure that you're aware of that with regard to the journal. So here are just a few recommendations that we've come up with. Continue to utilize technology. It can be a huge catalyst in not just submitting the journals for reviewers and allowing that gateway for submissions. We use Scholar One, which decreases lag time and helps not just the author, but also I think the editorial board reviewers, as well as the editor, to be able to quickly provide feedback, and also to decrease that lag time in providing information and feedback to the submission of the authors. Editors and review panels communicate and encourage perspective. There's another second recommendation. Authors and researchers submit proposals from a multitude of viewpoints. So as we talked about over the last day and then even this morning, really encouraging our submissions to come from a variety of different theoretical backgrounds and also maybe perhaps even some different types of designs as far as any kinds of experimental designs versus constructivist points of view. And then promote and encourage authors to submit manuscripts using a variety of methods. So, for example, maybe using a case study method, qualitative approaches, and even mixed method approaches, which we don't see as much, unfortunately, in this journal, at least so far. So this is my last slide. I'm trying to talk fast to get to you here, Donna. But future trends support a variety of research methods and approaches, so role modeling in our own research and publications. So as members of the review board and editors, really kind of modeling what we're wanting and providing submissions in that way. Also employ constructivist research designs and investigate contemporary career theory and using a variety of types of theory, particularly from yesterday. I know we heard from systems theorists and others that may be able to provide a different way of viewing some of the work that we're doing and kind of disseminate it to a larger audience if it has more of a practical application. Also explore global textual career artifacts. So continuing to reach out, not just in a particular region, but really globally to encourage individuals to provide their work from a practical standpoint as well as the research focus. Additionally, examine implication and opportunities to understand careers across cultural disciplines as well as career development. And also research the holistic and subjective nature of careers. And then in terms of the linkage between career research and practice, I would echo that I think kind of helping to provide that context in the very beginning whenever we're kind of sending a call out to all for submissions is to really kind of focus on just the academic but also practitioners. And one idea that I've been thinking about as we're talking throughout this week so far has been really kind of utilizing doctoral students who often come from a practice-based type of environment. So they may be in practice while they're concurrently studying in their programs. So this might be a great way to continue to infuse practice and theory all within one individual who's kind of going through it together. So that is all we had for you today, quickly. So thank you for your time and thanks for the opportunity to provide information about this journal. Enjoy the rest of your conference.